sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver Common Sense Show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Oh, stiff neck this morning. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to reaver.one. Click on the live stream. If you like that live stream, please don't forget to subscribe. Keep up to date. If you want to support the show, go to shrmedia. Oh, God. You can tell I'm a little still tired. If you want to support the show or if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one and click on the Reaver store. Yeah, it's too early for me today. Oh. Got a lot going on my end. My mind's going like 20,000 places at the same time. So the Syrian media, Islamic State uses mustard gas on Assad's troops. ISIS, and this isn't the first time that's been reported. It has been reported multiple times by different factions and different news agencies and all that. It was reported that they found a stockpile, twice now, in Iraq of weapons of mass destruction. Gee, wait a minute. Wasn't it? Maybe 10, 15, maybe 14 years ago, 13 years ago, that we started 2 wars to fight against terrorism. And also we went into a country because of weapons of mass destruction. Dang. Well, just because we did not find them does not mean they do not exist. Just because they were well hidden and we never ended up finding them. I mean, there's how much desert for them to be buried in? They had how much warning that we were coming in that they could disperse? We know some of it went to Assad in Syria. That's how he had the weapons of mass destruction to use on his own people, which started some of this whole brouhaha of us wanting to go and fight Assad. Free Syria. All that. But just remember where these weapons of mass destructions originally came from. Assad, the leader of Syria, admitted where he got his stockpile from. He admitted he had gotten it from Iraq. Now, you will not hear from the mainstream media saying that. They will talk about these weapons of mass destruction, but they conveniently ignore the origin. And this is Fox News. They ignore it. You won't hear any politicians admitting that, well, Bush was right. Because you got the left who are sitting here crying about the wars. You got the left whining about the wars. So no one wants to admit about these weapons that Assad has used, and now ISIS has control of, and is using these weapons. We are turning our backs on facts just to make sure that we don't hurt some Democrats' feelings. And yes, I know for you pro-cruisers, and I'm glad to have you as listeners if I have any pro-cruisers, because as I've said, vote for whoever you want. That is your right. I will never insult you for it. Hillary, you're pushing the boundaries there. This is one of those things that I don't agree with Trump's statements. You don't have to agree 100% with your candidate of choice. Oh, what the heck's going on? My computers are acting funny. I just built a new computer for the video section, and man, it's the two programs that I got to run for the video, and it's lagging behind big time. And I have no idea. I don't think that holy shnikes, lad. Hang on. D. All right, let's get back. Like I said, this computer, it's not no slouch that I built. And I've noticed that on the RAM side, it's doing very good. Well, pretty. I think both of them have a minimum of 16 gigabytes, yeah. So the RAM's not the issue, and the CPUs are not slouches either. I mean, I'm running on this one 3.7 gigahertz, and the other one I think is a 3.8. So, and fresh installs of Windows pretty much on both computers. So I'm not sure. So those listening or watching the video stream, I know I have a few issues. I'm trying to work them out, and please bear with me. It's a process. What's even funnier is my laptop, which is good 5 years old. It was running it better than this desktop is. So I know there's a small issue that I got to figure out. I wish I could stop yawning all of a sudden. But let's get back to Syria. Now, ISIL jihadists attacked troops loyal to Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad with mustard gas at a military airport in Syria's eastern province that borders Iraq, state-owned media has alleged. Now, I know, if there wasn't all these other reports that have come out of Iraq and from Syria about these weapons of mass destructions being found, being taken, being used, I don't think I would believe this because it's coming out of the state-owned media, which kind of don't believe Assad as far as I could throw him. But I could also see him using it on his own troops and blaming it on somebody else to get the media and try to get the help. The Syrian state media did not disclose how many casualties were sustained in the latest drive by the hardline fundamentalist Sunni militants to capture the heavily defended airport located south. And now we have, I believe, Russia is backing out because the whole civil war thing is supposed to be under ceasefire and they're supposed to be agreeing to a bunch of stuff. So Russia's pulling out. It's going to... Dang it. It's going to allow ISIS to pretty much blow up in that country. And what I mean by blow up is just do whatever the hell they want. The terrorists fired rockets carrying the mustard gas, said a statement on Syria's state-owned television station. It is the weirdest thing. And it's almost like, because we basically forced Russia to leave Syria. And now Syria's kind of open field. And it's going to allow ISIS to expand more. It is almost like somebody is trying to help ISIS to grow bigger, to take over more area. It seems like somebody also likes to use the term ISIL, which is acknowledging ISIS or Daesh, whichever one you want to use. It's calling them ISIL is acknowledging that they're a country in that area. It is an insult to Israel. And I never understand why the White House administration and the people use the term ISIL. It is acknowledging ISIS as a country, as a caliphate, as a state, whichever term you would like to use. But according to the UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, which monitors the Syrian conflict using a network of ground sources, ISIS has advanced despite heavy aerial, oh my God. It is one of those days. Ugh. All right, let's try that again. An aerial strike aimed at repelling the militant. The Syrian army, backed by heavy Russian air support, was able last January to drive back the hardline militants from several villages near the airport, but has so far failed to dislodge them. This report is coming from Reuters. For months, ISIS has besieged large parts which is an estimate population in that city about 200,000 people. Earlier this year, the UN started dropping aid to civilians trapped in government-held areas. The airbase south of the city is the government's last strategic asset in the province, which is mostly under ISIS control. ISIS was suspected of carrying out a mustard attack on the northern Iraq town of Tazar last month, killing 3 children and wounding hundreds of people. This is not the first time that they have used weapons of mass destruction. Now, any time during our history, any other president, he'd be sending troops in to wipe ISIS off the map. And now we have a candidate that plays patty cakes. We have a leader to the north of us, won't mention Trudeau's name, who thinks that a letter-writing campaign of love will stop him. I can just see it like they get these cards. Oh, they love us. Oh, they want to give us hugs. Let's stop the attacks. I did this letter from Johnny. It breaks my heart. We got to stop these attacks, people. We can't go on attacking. They told us that it's wrong, but they love us anyway. God. Tell you what, Trudeau, I want you to do something. With no guards, no security, I want you to go over to the Middle East, Iraq, Iran, Israel, Syria, that whole area. And I want you to find ISIS, and I want you to go up and go, but I love you. I just want to give you a big hug. Oh, it'll stop the war. There goes his head. The idiocy of this liberal, progressive, socialist bullcrap movement, where because of our failures of having a set of intestinal fortitude, a.k.a. set of balls, we have failed to stop. We have allowed the growth of ISIS. We've allowed the advancement of ISIS. All because we have this progressive left pussy socialist bullshit, and we don't go at problems head on. The stupidity of love, peace, and polka dots and all this other crap is getting people killed. Is getting civilians killed. Innocent people killed. How much longer are we going to keep allowing our governments, and I'm talking in the European suckfest, I'm talking in Canada, I'm talking United States, when are we going to stop pussyfooting around, playing games, thinking if we just talk to them? There's people dying. Innocent people dying, not just in the Middle East. We have these deaths occurring in Europe. We have these deaths occurring in the United States and Canada, and it just keeps growing and growing, but yet we keep backing down and backing down. I am so sick and tired of backing down. I can tell you this, I'm not going to keep backing down. I'm going to keep attacking the administration. I'm going to keep attacking the RNC. I will keep going at it. I will be the pit bull of the radio. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media. and High Plains Pundit Radio. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. We're talking about Syria, and ISIS has been using weapons of mass destructions. Some kind of biological weapon, mustard gas. They have been using it on well, the military forces of Assad. So, but we'll get back to that in a minute. Remember, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense show with its host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. If you like that live stream, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to support the show, or if you want to support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. It's we have sat back as a country, and we have allowed ISIS to run pretty much freely. I know we're doing these bombings. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Those bombings, it's like somebody wants to destroy your house. They want to wreck your house, so they're standing outside. Do they go get a wrecking ball? Do they get a bunch of men to come over and knock the house down with sledgehammers? No. You're standing outside the house, and you got these little pebbles that you're throwing at the house. Now, every now and then, you break a window. But that's not breaking down the house. And that's exactly what we've been doing with these air sports. Every now and then, we hit a target. But it really doesn't do much. It also been added that sulfur mustard, commonly known as mustard gas, although in its liquid at an ambient temperature, is a powerful irritant and blistering agent which causes severe damage to the skin, eyes, and respiratory system and internal organs. The Syrian government has itself been reportedly accused of perpetrating these chemical weapons attacks, something it vehemently denies. What's funny is they admitted to it and then kind of like, oh, shit. Hey, you just admitted to it, you dumbass. Oh, we did not do it. We don't know who that guy was. Assad came up and said, no, we don't know who that is. See, Syria is supposed to be free of chemical weapons since 2014 under a deal reached with the support of United Nations. A fragile cessation of hostility truce has held in Syria for over a month as the various parties to the conflict try to negotiate an end to the Syrian civil war. But the truce excludes ISIS and the Al-Qaeda affiliate. Air and land attacks by Syrian and allied forces continue in parts of Syria where the government says the groups are present. It seems it's giving a common ground between the rebels and the Syrian-backed forces, the government-backed forces. So, we'll see. Right now, the truce between them is holding, and it seems like they are attacking in parts where ISIS is running freely. A poll was done, and a majority of the Muslim students think Brussels terrorists are heroes. Teachers working in predominantly Muslim districts in Brussels have reported that 90% of their students, 17 to 18 years old, call the Islamic terrorists who attacked Paris and Brussels heroes. Well, ain't that a kick in the pants? See, opening up your homes, trying to give love is not working. Because the 17, 18-year-olds, not all of them, but most of them are going to grow up to, mimic what these heroes of theirs have done. The revelation came in an article in the New York Times wherein Steve Erlanger spoke to a Belgian policymaker who relayed the information from Belgium. The piece entitled, Blaming Policy, Not Islam, for Belgium's Radicalized Youth. Yeah, let's always blame everything else but the fucking problem, people. Every time I see anybody talk, it's let's blame everything but the problem. Not all Muslims are terrorists. I agree with that. But pretty much all these terrorists are Muslims. There's an issue going on. Stop blaming policies. Muslims have been attacking everybody for thousands of years. You can't keep blaming the fucking policies. You can't keep blaming the United States and Britain. Because it is not the United States and Britain that has Muslims beheading Muslims, Muslims beheading Christians, Muslims beheading Jews. There's a common denominator there. Muslims. And not pointing the finger at the cause will not help the situation. Not acknowledging this radical jihad movement that's going through the world is allowing it to grow even bigger. These idiots in the administration, these tree-hugging hippies, these friggin' progressive socialists do not understand the basics. And it's going to only make the problem worse. The problem's going to get worse and grow and grow and grow and grow. The two cities are now infamous as the areas in which for months Islamists hid, manufactured weapons, and made preparations for Paris and Belgium attacks, reflecting that our cities are facing a huge problem, maybe the largest since World War II. How is it that people who were born here in Brussels, in Paris, can call heroes the people who commit violence and terror? Dismissing the idea of Islam having played any role in the Paris attacks, and the bombing of Brussels airport, and a subway station, claiming that religion for them is pretext, and that they believe in nothing. The politician boldly claims that the problem is lack of exposure to diversity and modern art. Holy shit, this asshole's got his head shoved so far up his ass, it's not funny. Because because they're not exposed to art and modern diversity and modern art. Oh my God. How fucking stupid do you have to be to come up with an idiotic idea like that? We have neighborhoods where people only see the same people, go to the schools with the same people. What connection do they have with the whole society? What connection do they have with real diversity? It's the establishment of the ghetto, he says, and it's the things in our urban development that we have to tackle. You fucking moron! We have areas upon areas in the United States where people only see the same people over and over again. Go to the same school. The society as a whole is connected to the same things happening every fucking day. I don't see these people strapping on bombs and vests and all that shit and running around killing people now, do I? I don't go out and about. I don't have this huge diversity. I fucking hate modern artwork. You don't see me building a bomb and strapping it to my chest and running around and in the name of Allah blowing people up. This guy is the stupidest motherfucker I've ever seen. I don't know what's worse, this or the fucking letter writing campaign Canada wants to do. Let's bring home our military, stop the war against ISIS, and let's write letters and tell them we love them. Oh, my God. Now you want to take them to a fucking museum and art gallery. And the next is these young people will never go to museums until 18 or 20. They never saw. Oh my head's hurting. They never saw Warhol. They never saw Dali. They don't know what it is to dream. Yes, they do. They dream of ruling the world. They dream of blowing people up. They dream of killing people. This has nothing to do with modern art. This has nothing to do with diversity. This has to deal with people that have sick ideology that's implanted in their head, and it expands until they go out and commit these heinous crimes. They don't want to assimilate. They don't want to meld into the communities. They want to take over your community. We have shown time and time and time again how we want to assimilate them into the culture. And they give us the big middle finger and say, this is how we live. You assimilate to us. I don't understand how brain damaged you have to be that for a moron like this guy, or girl, whatever, Goldstein, chief of staff for the minister-president of the Brussels Capital Region, and he's a councilman for one of the local Muslim areas. But he thinks that goddamn going to the museum, going to modern art exhibit, all right, here's a perfect example of how stupid this guy is. We have Chinatown in Philadelphia. We have a Chinatown in New York. We have a Chinatown in San Francisco. And nobody's going around and blowing shit up. We have little Italies. We have little Italies all over this country. Those people stay in that area. They don't really communicate with other people. I mean, they talk to other people, but for the most part, they stay in their community. That's their right. If that's how they want to be, I have no problem with it. They're not running out blowing people up in the name of Little Italy. They're not running around blowing people up in the name of Chinatown. You fucking moron. They're running around blowing people up in the name of Allah. And right here, the article neglects to ask basic questions like, if Islamic extremists is the fault of Belgian urban planning, is it happening globally? Why are Jewish communities leaving these towns? or why Chinese people living in Chinatown-like communities taking no interest in modern art seem to be at no risk of committing terrorist acts. Why is it that we have these little Italy, and all different ethnicities have their own little cliques in some towns, and nobody's running around blowing people up? No one's running around committing terrorist attacks. We'll have more after the break. This is the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe. Just had a computer, not crash, but lost power, and I thought I had this secondary computer plugged into a UPS, but it seems like it didn't. Oops. Wrong keyboard. Give me 1 second. Trying to get the video back up and running. All right. There we go. All right. I thought. What the heck is going on here? Holy shnikes, this is going nuts. And here we go. Let's get that back up and running. The fun of live. So we go there. And just got to throw the link back up, and we are good to go for me to be running my mouth again. The one thing I don't understand is on I have all my sound going through a mixing board, and for some reason, even when I hit the mute button on the mixing board, it doesn't mute the sound going into the video. The video still gets sound no matter what. That's kind of weird. All right. And that should do it. All right. Well, I'll have to figure something out. A bombshell report. Berlin lost to Arab clans. Now recruiting physically strong young migrants. Maybe just take them to the museum and they'll be fine. Berlin's criminal underground has been lost to Arab clans, according to a new report published by the mainstream German newspaper. The report, which reveals how Arab migrants has transformed Berlin's entire criminal landscape, exposes how extended migrant families now recruiting new migrants run the entirety of the city's organized crime. The report speaks of the amazing sight of luxury sedans cruising up to refugees, asylum centers, and migrant lodging filled with people who have lost everything. Investigators report that criminal gangs have exploited the situation of the migrant crisis in which German Chancellor Angela Merkel policies saw well over 1 million migrants from a third world settle in Europe last year. The source explains that young and physically strong men are targeted by gangs and then used for dirty work like burglaries, drug trafficking, and fights with criminal competitors. Child refugees are also welcome as their faces are unknown to police. Take them to the movies. Take them to the museum. Take them to a modern art. Yeah, that'll stop them. The left's idiocy, it just amazes me how stupid they can be. Let's take them to a movie. Let's write a letter saying we love them. They just need hugs. Despite the prospect of arrest or even going to prison, many of the new arrivals are willing to take the risk, as it is unlikely they will be deported. Germany's problem with its immigrant population are nothing new. According to authorities in Berlin, the majority of the city's organized crime is controlled by 7 to 9 extended families who came in the late 1970s from Lebanon. Derek Jacob, the director of the State Criminal Police Office, describes how the clans specialize in property crimes and drug trafficking. They show their power in the city with high visible stunts such as daring daylight heists, which saw a masked gun gang armed with assault rifles, machetes, and hand grenades steal the jackpot from a poker tournament at the Hyatt Hotel, and spectacular heists at Berlin's iconic luxury department store. It's I don't know where the progressive left got the stupidity and idiotic idea of the love is going to help. Yes, love is nice. Love is great. But when you're dealing with elements like this, when you're dealing with issues like this, yeah, it's not going to help. They will use that weakness. They will exploit that weakness so that they can continue their wave of criminal activity. As the left keep coming up with these harebrained jackass schemes, I just I cannot believe the stupidity, the moronic ideas. It boggles my mind. And then they're surprised when whole cities get taken over and run by these extremists, by these scum of the earth. Despite all the efforts, Jacob says it's extremely difficult to penetrate these extended family as they are solid structures that can be cracked only through length and costly investigations. Describing problems policemen run into when faced with these clans' criminal machines, he says if, for example, a family member of a competitor is knocked down and seriously injured with a knife, officials have little time to secure the testimony of witnesses, because very quickly the family turn and manipulate the witness. They are either bought or threatened, after we learn nothing more. The great families of the city also control the majority of prostitution in Berlin. Prostitutes must pay the Arab clans a percentage. Otherwise, there are beatings. Pimps must pay protection money, and pressure has recently been growing on the small apartment brothels dotted all over German capital. So the pimps who are given protection have to pay protection money so that they don't get their ass beats. What is most startling about the revelation is that it sounds like few areas of business in the city are free from these families' criminal grasp, with hardly a hookah bar operator spared from extortion. Germany's most celebrity bodyguard cooperated with police, as he always does, after the heist at the Hyatt Hotel poker tournament. His testimony helped jail the perpetrators, members of the notorious Arab clans, but the former world champion kickboxer said that a contract killer was hired to take his life as a result. For months, the professional bodyguard had to be accompanied by a bodyguard himself. They now say that Berlin is lost. City after city after city in Europe is falling to Islam control. It's... I am at a loss for words. I seriously don't know what to say. I really don't. It's... And the left and its idiocy ideas, this perpetration of it's with idiocy like this, I'm surprised we evolved. With idiocy like this, we would have never became the United States. We would be colonies of Britain. It's... The world is a sad place. It's... I'm amazed we have made it this far in evolution with that type of mentality. It's lunacy. Thinking that we're not taking them to museums. That is a snob and a half thinking. There's thousands of people that never go to a museum, that never go to modern art exhibits, and they don't go around blowing people up. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio.